presentation of the day. Just a little bit more. So we're doing ParaDocs, you know us from the robotic surgery. So just like all of y'all, we were also racking our brains trying to find a problem statement to, well, solve. And this is a template we've been using for our robotic surgery presentations, and we realized that the problem was kind of staring at us the whole time. So the problem we're trying to solve is manual lifting and transportation of patients. So in hospitals and nursing homes, one of the primary tasks of a nurse or a caregiver is lifting a patient and transporting them between stretcher to bed, bed to wheelchair to restroom, and just lifting the patient so that they don't get bed sores. So for this, well, according to the CTC, the adult male is about 200 pounds, and this is one of the biggest reasons for nurses to have musculoskeletal injuries, which leads to them missing work and back injuries, career-ending injuries, might add that. So about 2 to 8 nurses are required per transfer, and this issue gets heightened because of staff shortages, as we saw during the pandemic. A robotic solution would help reduce the number of injuries and, of course, help with all of these issues. So hence introducing Serenity, combining comfort and innovation in patient mobility.
Yeah, so how do we plan to solve this? So solution, in our mind, we have a mobile and versatile base, which can carry about 500 pounds. From the base, there are the extended rods that go vertically and horizontally over the patient, from which harnesses are suspended. Now, we assume the patient will be on a transfer sheet. These are sheets with handles that 2 or more people use to pick up and move patients. So we'll have custom sheets that can be attached to a harness. And most importantly, our harnesses will be of adjustable length, so we can lift them. And secondly, you can also tilt them if one harness is longer and one is shorter. This is important because transfers are not only bed to bed, but they're also bed to wheelchair, or you're trying to take a patient to a bathroom and things of that sort. This is the high-level concept art of what we have in mind. Obviously, it's an AI-generated image, so there are some visual artifacts. But this is what
was the prompt to get this? We can talk about it later. That's very specific, right? Anyway,
We had a solution, my name is Sarah, describe it.
Yeah, very good.
So you might be thinking, why such a solution? Like, maybe we do this or do that, something of that sort. And we will elaborate more on that when we talk about our competitors and how we plan to distinguish ourselves. Obviously, there are many inherent assumptions in this. Fundamental assumption is that it's a frequent and strenuous activity, and there is a demand for such a solution. Robotic solutions will have long-term advantages by reducing physical strain and also help improve operational efficiency. Of course, the technology exists to build such a solution. And most importantly, patients would be comfortable with the idea of being assisted and move with the robotic system. The challenges that we face. The time to market is pretty long. It's a medical device. That means we need approvals from FDA, the ISO standards. Because we address workers, maybe we also need OSHA compliance, things of that sort. High initial investment, like any hardware robotic startup. And the tech is also hard. Like designing a robot that can handle this payload while not being cumbersome at a good cost is a hard challenge. Coming to the market analysis.
So when it comes to a market, our target market will be hospitals and nursing homes, rehabilitation centers, or home healthcare services. If our robots can be fit into a minivan, then we can transport the robots to someone's patient's house to help them. And this market size is on the growth, and it's a big market, and potentially we're reaching 446 million by 2025. And in that big market, North America market counts for a large portion, roughly 40%. So this is a big market, and there are definitely with competitions. So who are we up against? So these are the companies who will be our competitors, and they are from across the world, from Denmark to China and to Canada. Of course, in US itself, we have competitors. So I will go each of them one by one. So for the first solution, the PDR robots, they come up with these ARC-like robots that is mobile-based platform, but it's too bulky to fit in small hospital settings. When there's a doorway, it's hard to maneuver. And the second is a smaller solution, the Hoyer lifts. So the lift itself is powered by hydraulic, But when the nurse is trying to move the lift and the patients, they have to exert their own force in moving the patients, and that may cause tipping or other damage while facing a sharp turns. So there are other solutions that's from Echo Innovations, but they're only capable of bed transfers, and they're using a conveyor belt. And also a similar design is from Medicare. They also have mobile robots that have conveyor belt to do bed transfer, but that's not for bed to wheelchair transfer. And from German Bionics, they also have exoskeleton solutions, but the nurse itself, he or she will still have to exert forces to lift the patient from bed to chair. So in summary, unlike the solution from PDR robots, our robots will be unbulky and can fit in any small hospital settings. And unlike companies like Able Innovations, our solution will not only do bed-to-bed transfer, also do bed-to-wheelchair transfer. And unlike the exoskeleton solution, our solution will not need manual exert of forces.
So move on to the business models. When it comes to the medical robots, the price always matters. But still, with conscientious entrepreneurial we only offer it the one-time purchase and no subscription model. Based on our early market research, it costs about 7,000 for the mobile base and 3,000 for the hardware systems. And we set the starting price at 60,000 just to guarantee that we are making enough revenues to support our research and design. To make additional revenue, we offer the maintenance and services of the robotic systems, and also we set the replacement parts and accessories prepared for sale. What kind of early adopters we are seeking for? We're looking for high-end and expensive nursing homes that will have the capacities to afford such a system. And also we're looking for hospitals and rehab centers that are open to the experimenting with newer technologies. For the selling price, generally speaking, we are using a skimming strategy here. We plan to sell at the premium price to early angel adopters who would be willing to pay such a price to fund the initial R&D cost, and after getting the markets, reduce them to more competitive price to gain wider market share. So how are we going to reduce that? We consulted somewhere in the industry who are building mobile bases with 800 LBS payload under 3 seconds. So we do believe that we can bridge down the cost significantly. Just to summarize, here's our business model canvas. Just 2 things to be noticed here. The first one is the key metrics. We are doing our best to seek for assets to realize reduction in physical strain for healthcare workers. The second thing is the unfair advantage. We are already to the US markets, and we all 4 here have the medical connections and our backgrounds.
Coming to the customer survey, our primary customers are divided into 2 markets, the hospitals and rehabilitation centers. For hospitals, we came up with this list, which are some of the top hospitals in the United States, and we'd like to talk to people in charge of purchasing there. The other set is skilled nursing and assisted living centers. So we have a total of about 36 contacts that we have come up with that we would like to talk about these questions. Our survey questions are primarily to validate our assumptions, such as it is actually a strenuous and frequent activity to lift patients, and have they ever had any accidents in that, and also to understand what the ratio between bed to bed versus bed to chair and intra-bed just moving would be, because we can adapt our technology based on if say there's too much bed to chair transfer, we can have a sleeker solution and so forth. And also another assumption we had was that patients would be comfortable with a robotic solution, which is a big thing because this is new technology, and we want to talk to the hospitals to understand how they perceive existing technology solutions and how they would be adaptive to our new technology in the hospital. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Questions?
So, my concern is, the question for you guys is that any failure becomes a very sensitive issue. So, like, what does happen if, like, something happens to you? Is it the nurse fault, your robot's fault, or the fault of the services? Wouldn't that be a entry point? Like, wouldn't that lead to some retraction in entry points? Because these services